Patty, good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Pino. I'm great. Thank you for asking.
Awesome, awesome. And you just got back from a vacation, so
Yeah,
can
I'm
you share
well
where you went?
rested.
Where'd you go?
Oh, you know what? I can tell you that this is a trip to the Caribbean that we do on a cruise.
Nice.
And my husband and I have done it for over 30 years. And we've gone the first or second week in December, and it's always been very strategic that it
Yeah,
gets us ready for the holiday. It allows us to decompress and sort of just reconnect before the chaos sort of kicks in.
before
And
the
it's worked
anxiety.
well for us.
Yeah, good, good, awesome. It's always good to recharge the batteries, right?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
I'm a big fan of that. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and I know you're also a big a fan of writing down your goals, and that's what we'll talk quickly about how important it is to write down your goals heading into 2026.
Yeah. I posted something recently on my Instagram page. I always identify a word in my mind that's going to be my mantra for the year.
Yep,
I can tell you last year it was tweak, which is sort of a bizarre word for a goal. But there
yep,
were a lot of things going really well in my life that I really
yep,
enjoyed. But I knew I could do things just a little bit better. And
yep,
so I didn't feel like I needed wholesale changes, but
yep,
I needed to tweak some things. And
yep,
so I recently posted that, not a catchy title, but it's called Fitness Friday, but fitness not from a physical activity perspective, but it's about fitness in terms of my whole life. And my word for 2026 is intention. And I want to do things intentionally. It doesn't mean I don't want to have fun, but guess what,
yep,
Pino? I am intentionally going to have fun. I'm
yep,
intentionally going to have some downtime. I had a rough fall. I have to tell you, I am a big sleeper, and
yep,
I said yes to every single thing that came my way.
yep,
And I loved it. But I also I was digging deep. I wasn't sleeping. And I know I need to change that because from a
yep.
longevity perspective, I need sleep.
Yes. What about magnesium?
Oh, I do take magnesium. I
Yeah, good.
do, and it
Yeah,
does work. Um,
yeah,
but I think it's more than that. I think it's about being realistic about what you're doing
yeah,
and is it balanced? And when I think of a word for the year, um, it's not just throwing a word out there. For me, it's why is that word important? Why is the word intentional so important to
yeah,
me at this point in my life? And
yeah,
then what I typically do is once I understand why I'm doing something, and I'm a big goal setter. I love data. I'm a data junkie. I like tracking everything, writing it down,
yeah,
reviewing it, going back to it.
yeah.
But once I know my why, I find that the motivation follows.
Okay.
And my why changes all the time,
Yep.
as
Of
does the goal that I set out for myself. Can I show you what I do at the beginning of the year?
course. Yeah.
So this is my little book. It kind of looks, well, I just have fun with it. And
Yeah.
in the middle, I have me. This is my life.
Yep.
And so, what are the things that I want to work on this year? So, I've already started doing this for 2026, and they break into health and family and fitness. I
Yeah.
love to write. I enjoy speaking engagements. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to some brand partnerships, walk and travel, social
Yeah.
media.
Yeah.
And I want to continue to build intellectually in ways that maybe I haven't before. And that means stretching myself.
Yeah.
And then I assess the schematic that I do every
Yeah.
month. And I
Yep.
have three categories. I'm crushing it,
Yep.
I'm working on it, and boy, I'm still building it.
So when do you write these down? You mentioned you write them down at the beginning of in January, or do you write
Yeah.
when do you write down your goals?
Yeah. So what the reason I do it like this, and I'll just remind everybody, is I think of my life as a giant bicycle wheel. And I'm the nucleus in the middle. That's
Hmm.
my overriding goal.
Yeah.
And when you have a bicycle wheel, and I learned this from Jim Collins. My husband and I had dinner with him, and he told me to do this when I was starting out in my career.
Good to great. Good to
Good to
great.
great, built to last.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said, you're the nucleus in the middle, whatever that goal is for you. And each spoke on this bicycle represents an element of how you're going to achieve that goal.
Okay.
And so whatever that goal means to you, and mine is overall health and balance in my life.
Yep.
I I value being able to work out. I value being able to still work. And I value time with the family. So, how do I make that all work? And each spoke is something I focus in on. And as I get better and as I get stronger, that bicycle wheel isn't grinding forward.
Yeah.
What you find happens is the more spokes you have,
Yep.
the traction pulls you forward and you start to build momentum on the things that really matter to you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I never thought about it that way, but I like how you got the like you have the categories, which is great. So you know what you're doing with your fitness, your
Yep.
finance,
Yep.
relationships. So it's great. You break it down, right?
Yeah.
So and this book that you have, do you keep it? Do you remind you? I guess when you're writing down your goals, you got to remind yourself all the
Yeah.
time where you're going. Do you remind yourself? Do you look at it often?
Yes. So, yeah, I do it often. So, I have a health journal that I start every year.
Yeah,
And in the health journal has a few of my goals that I'm personally trying to achieve.
yeah,
And this is where I also put my life goals.
yeah,
And so I kind of incorporate it. And I would say the first of the month is typically a trigger for me where
yeah,
I say, okay, what's been going really well? And
yeah,
because I track things, for example, from a health perspective with my Aura ring,
yeah,
I can look at patterns. I can see things that are working. I can
yeah,
see things that are not working.
yeah,
And, and then, for example, sleep, I will say, okay, I need to do some research on this. I need to
yeah,
find more data. And
yeah,
then I dive a little deeper into another level
yeah,
so that I have concrete, actionable steps
yeah.
tied to a particular goal that matters to me.
Okay, let me ask you this. So, do you believe if I said to you, those who write down their goals are more likely to hit their targets, would you agree with that statement or disagree?
Yes, I would agree with it, but I also understand that it is a point in time and life will throw you detours, hiccups,
Yes. Yeah.
speed bumps,
Yeah.
and you got to be kind to yourself. So I
Yeah.
am not married to this.
Okay.
It is without having some sort of plan. How do you ever know if you ever get to where you'd like to go?
Yeah.
Mean, you don't have an end destination necessarily. And I
Yeah.
don't have an end destination. I I like to evolve and continue to move forward, but moving forward according to my standards, because at the end of the day, they're the only ones that really matter.
Yeah.
So yes, I go back. Yes, I revisit it. I think I'm more likely to achieve what I hope to achieve
Yeah.
because it's written down and it's very clear.
Yeah.
And trust me, I celebrate with all sorts of colors on here when I
Yeah.
hit a goal or
Yeah.
I achieve what I set out to do.
What if you don't hit a goal or a target? Do you beat yourself up or what do you do then?
No, I don't but I will analyze it to say,
Yeah.
why did that not work? Look, there have been partnerships where people have reached out and they've wanted to work with me, and I think this is great.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work out. Not
Yeah.
everything works out.
Yeah.
And so you sit back and you say, okay, what was your role in this? Why didn't it work? What
Yeah.
was their role in it? And you learn from it. And
Yeah.
so I now know, for example, there was a role that I think someone desperately wanted me to be a salesperson. And I'm
Yeah.
not. I see myself as more of an educator.
Yeah.
And I thought I could be a salesperson. I cannot. So I know that about myself. So in a warped sort of way, I still walk away thinking, okay, that's a win. It's unfortunate it didn't work the way I'd hoped it would, or they
Yeah.
hoped it would,
Yeah.
but still both are moving forward.
Yeah. For sure. Patty, I have a question for you. Personal question. You're very successful. You've done very well. I know your story. I mean, we've talked many times. What continues to motivate you after all? Because you seem very driven and self-motivated. What drives you now?
What drives me? I think it comes right down to if I help just one person,
Yeah.
then I feel that that's a great thing.
Okay.
And I enjoy it and I enjoy connecting with people. And I find what I'm really finding is the satisfaction of a demographic that feels that they don't have a voice. And they go, guess what? I have a voice just like you, Patty, and I'm
Yeah.
going to use it. But more importantly, um, or as importantly, I should say, there's
Yeah.
a younger demographic that stop me all the time on the street. And it's
Yeah.
so rewarding because they'll say, I follow you
Yeah.
and I'm so inspired. And I think, but why? But if that's giving them enough inspiration to say, I can go and be and do anything I
Yeah.
want, then to
Yeah.
me that's
Yeah.
the best. And that's what keeps me going.
Amazing. Yeah. So you don't know this, but you're inspiring so many people, Patty. Like you've
Yeah, and you
inspired.
don't, and I don't know if I really am.
Well,
Some of, and I really don't. But what I
yeah.
know is that I'm not going to have any regrets doing what I'm doing. And the
Yeah.
only way I have figured out not to have regrets is to
Yeah.
be authentic, to be
Yeah.
who I am,
Yeah.
to show up who I am, and to give my very best. I will never be the best, Pino. Like
Yeah.
I'll never be the best public speaker. I'll
Yeah.
never be the best at anything. There's
Yeah.
always going to be somebody better than you.
And there's
But
always
when
room for
you do your
improvement.
best,
Yeah. Yeah. And Patty, we're always growing and developing. There's always room for improvement,
yeah.
right? Like no one's
Oh yeah.
perfect, right?
Listen, I will get feedback sometimes, and it can be harsh. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then you think about it and you reflect on it and you think,
Yeah.
okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That is fair feedback.
Yeah.
And and you get to decide what you do with the feedback you receive. Maybe it's fair, but maybe it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Maybe that person never really knew you to begin with.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Just you get to choose. It's your life. You can ignore it,
Yeah.
or you can maybe learn from it and do things differently.
Yes. 100%. Patty, do you believe in visualization and do you believe, first of all, part of it, do you believe in the power of visualization?
I do. I do. I think I've told you and many people before
Yeah.
that I'm dyslexic.
Oh,
And I am, yes. So I never ever read a teleprompter on TV. I either know my material or I shouldn't be on there.
yeah.
But I have to tell you, there were times in the morning where I would have to do something called the Aeroplan report.
Yeah.
The airplane report. It was a market update that got played in airports across the country.
Yeah.
And I had to read the teleprompter. And I would break out in a sweat. My voice would quiver. My mouth would get dry. I mean,
Yeah.
anyone who has a fear of anything
Yeah.
knows that that can happen.
Yeah.
And I would get in the chair, and the whole newsroom knew I was going through that. And there would be such a cheer after if I actually got it on the first take, because it was always taped.
Yeah.
But I would visualize the words, reading them, getting through it. It would calm me down. I would take a quiet moment. I would read the script. I'd imprint it in my head,
Yeah.
and then I would go and try to deliver it. And so, yes, I am a very big fan of visualization.
And it work. I believe it works. I've
Yeah,
experienced it myself. I believe it works, right?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And this the story is interesting, Patty, that you share with us. You had that I don't know if you want to call it a disability, but you had that challenge, but you overcame it. You didn't let it define you. You didn't let it break you. You said, you know what? I've got this thing that
Yeah,
I'm dealing with, but I'm not gonna let it stop me. And there's tons of successful people that have things, they told me I had ADD, but it doesn't stop you. It propels you. It
yeah.
motivates, inspires you to keep going, right? Like I'm not gonna let this stop me.
Right. I found it interesting that I wasn't diagnosed until probably I was in my mid 30s.
Yeah.
And I went through the process because I was having our children go through sort of a psychological process about what are your innate skills
Yeah.
that we have a friend who's an industrial psychologist. He's a great guy. And he said, let's see what the children are really programmed to do, what they could go and be great at. And one of our daughters did the same test that I did. And she looked at me and she goes, how did you do on the test? And I said, well, they told me my time was up. But with my dyslexia, everything gets jumbled. And so I don't care if my time's up. I haven't solved this problem, and I'm
Yeah.
going to stay here till I do. So
Yeah.
I'm very tenacious, as is she. She is also dyslexic. And she did so much better than I did because I
Yeah.
didn't go to university
Yeah.
because I didn't feel I was smart enough.
Wow.
She has an undergraduate degree, a teacher's degree, and a master's degree.
Yeah.
And she will tell you that she is mildly dyslexic as well. And we both know because we both have been diagnosed, but we
Yeah.
didn't know any better.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that I overcame it.
Yeah.
It was just something that I know when I read an economic report, I
Yeah.
know enough about the economy
Yeah.
that if I'm flipping words around and it's not making sense, I need to read it again and again and maybe again. And then
Yeah.
I go, yeah, that all makes sense now.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that and opening
Yeah,
up and sharing that with us. But that's me. Patty, do you believe in vision boards?
I do. I do, especially when you have them right in front of you. I
Yes.
think it allows you to be productive with your time. It
Yeah.
allows you to dream. I think I wrote down here, I in being intentional. I even have intentional here that I started with at the beginning of last year.
Yeah.
Daydream more, jot down ideas, be
Yeah.
intentional, thinking and reflecting
Yeah.
allows you to refresh thoughts or come up with new ones. I think
Mhm.
this is just a great time of year to really
Yeah.
assess for yourself, like what went really well.
Yeah.
And you're the only one that can judge. And
Yeah.
if there's one thing you'll do differently, and don't overburden it, don't overthink it. Just say, I'm gonna try something new.
Yeah. And take that leap of faith and believe that you can achieve it.
Yeah.
So many people are afraid to start.
Sometimes you have to get off your own coattails. You
Yes.
have to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
I didn't think I could do well in corporate Canada or
Yeah.
even in TV
Yeah.
because I didn't have that university degree. My husband did a plaque from Walt Disney for me. It wasn't the best gift he's ever given me, but it was a pretty cool
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And it was Walt Disney's If You Can Dream It, You Can Do It. And
Yes.
he gave me the gift when we were first married. He
Yeah.
said, Patty, I truly believe the only person holding you back is you.
Yes.
So if you get out of your own way, you're going to
Yeah.
do whatever it is you want to do, and we're
Yeah.
going to support you.
So here's a question for you. So where do these negative thoughts? So I think I was talking to a friend about this yesterday, how we stop ourselves from getting to where we want to go because it's these thoughts that we create in our mind. But where do those thoughts come from? Is it our teachers, our parents?
Yeah, I
Like,
think it's all of the above. I think
yeah,
every person has a limiting belief.
yeah,
I can't do this
yeah,
because.
yeah,
And if we can flip that switch,
yeah,
I can do this
yeah.
because I just think that we'd all have more positive and, productive outcomes.
I agree. It's just the mindset. It's just comes down to your
Yeah, and we
mindset.
all have it. I mean,
Yeah,
there are times still where I in my head, when I'm asked to do something, I'll say, no, I don't think I can do that. That's
yeah,
not in my wheelhouse. No, I don't think so.
yeah,
And then in a heartbeat, I have caught myself saying, why can't you do it?
yeah,
Yeah, it's going to take some work. Yes, it's going to take some research.
yeah.
And yeah, you can do it.
You
And
can.
I will. And I'll do it to the best of my ability. And
Yeah.
you hope for someone else it's good enough.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast and she says, write down every day I can, I will, and watch me. Right? So
That's great. Yeah, watch
ingrain it
me.
in your mind and just tell yourself that because once those thoughts go into your mind, you rewire your brain, right?
Yes, yes.
Right. So it's our thoughts control so much. Patty, the men and women down on Bay Street in the financial district, the ones that are making a ton of money, they're just printing money. Do they write down goals or is it just for the average Joe? Or would you say those men and women down there, the
I would
success?
argue that it looks different for
Yeah,
everybody,
everyone's yeah.
but I do think people have goals. I do
Yeah.
think that they may or may not share them. They may not be big and audacious.
Yeah.
They may be a small step forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, the guys that are making buckets of cash, well, they
Yeah.
may want to make more cash.
Yeah.
But it's not enough to write the goal down. I want to make X amount of dollars. I mean, it's a great place to start.
Yeah.
But I think you have to be not only, I want to make this amount of money, but you've got
Yeah.
to be tactical about it and strategic.
Yeah.
And because otherwise, like, how do you get there? And I
Yeah.
think that's where people sometimes fumble. They
Yeah.
they try to do too much
Yeah.
too quickly,
Yeah.
and it can get off course so easily. And
Yeah.
so I do small, stretchy enough goals that I know I can achieve them if I put my mind to it.
Yeah.
Because I want to be successful. I
Yeah.
want to be successful to myself.
Yeah.
And I want to say, okay, I did what I set out to do, and this is how I did it.
Yeah. But writing down those goals and writing down the action steps needed to achieve that. So I'm here. I
So
want
I
to get
can
here.
review it.
I'm sorry.
So I can review it and review
Yes.
it often. Yeah.
Yes. So if I was traveling, I would need a map. If I was traveling from Toronto, Florida, I would need a map and it would show you, okay, you need to go this here. So if you follow the map, write your own roadmap to where you want to go.
Yeah. So, every year, Jim and I have been married for 31 years. And in our very first year of marriage, we did a net worth statement between Christmas and New Year's. And we did it so that one, we could see where we stood financially. But more importantly, it allowed us to narrow in on the goal that we wanted to do financially.
Yeah.
Some years it was to kick up the children's education savings plans. In other
Yeah.
years, it was to pay off the house or
Yeah.
pay off other debt. There were other years where we said, whoa, we got to pay less in taxes. Are we
Yeah.
utilizing everything that we can?
Yeah.
And and what this did for us is it allowed us to get aligned, to
Yeah.
see where we stood.
Yeah.
Every year, it's a point in time. A net worth is a point in time,
Yeah.
but it allowed us to see very clearly where we had room for improvement. I can also tell you, Pino, every single financial plan, so to speak, that we put into place in January
Yeah.
did not come through to fruition the next year. And
Yeah.
we'd sit down and we'd look at it and go, well, we
Yeah.
could have done better there, but we crushed it here.
Yeah.
And but what it was that roadmap that you talked about.
Yeah.
It told us that here's where we are, here's what we want to focus in on. We
Yeah.
got aligned.
Yeah.
And if anyone was going to derail the financial plan, yeah, it was probably me.
Yeah.
But life also had financial detours and
Yeah.
financial speed bumps.
Yeah.
Everybody has them.
Yes. For sure.
But you
We all
don't know how
have.
to take corrective action if you don't have the plan.
Exactly. Patty, just slightly off topic. You said 31 years of marriage.
Yeah.
Just give us some keys to 31 years of marriage. What's some keys to successful marriage? How did you get to 31
Oh
years?
my gosh. You know what? When Jim and I got married, I will tell you it is a second marriage for us.
Yeah.
And very importantly in our vows, when we did that, we said we wanted to have 50 years of happy marriage, not just marriage.
Yeah.
We wanted to ensure that, and is life happy every day?
No.
Better say it is. No, I'm sure it's not. It's a
Yeah.
lot of work, but
Yeah.
you know what? We created rituals in our family.
Yeah.
We start our morning every single morning, even when I was on the ridiculous early morning shifts,
Yeah.
with coffee together. We
Nice.
end every day with a Perrier together. There was a time it was wine, but then that didn't agree with me, so we moved to
Yeah.
Perrier.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's about connecting and
Yeah.
creating those rituals.
Yeah.
The ritual that we go away every December to the
Yeah.
same spot. Like it's
Ah,
ridiculous.
okay.
We don't there are no expectations other than we're just going to connect. And it's great.
Nice. So that
Yeah.
alone time, so you can
Yeah.
guys get together, reconnect, and
Well, we
keep
had
the
four
bond strong.
children when they were growing up. Well, we still have four children. We have nine grandchildren.
Wow. Nice.
And life can get really busy
Yeah.
and you have to prioritize each other.
Yes. 100%. 100%. Patty, thank you so much. I can talk to you for hours. I can pick your brain for hours, but thank you for this. But for those
That's so nice.
watching, write down your goals. Don't wait till January 1st. Would you agree, Patty?
Yeah,
Write
I
them down
started
now.
December 1st. But then that's my nature. I want to get a jump on it so that
Yeah.
I'm already ready to hit the ground running.
Awesome. Patty, for those watching right now, they want to connect with you. Best way to do that.
Well, they certainly can do it on LinkedIn, and
Yeah.
I'll put this up there as well. And my Instagram handle is Pattie_Loveit Reid with the little blue check mark. I looked the other day, I think there are about 10 other people that say they're me.
Oh,
Anyway, I'm
what?
always intrigued by the imposters and the pictures that they choose from my Instagram. The
Oh,
ones I'd choose, but that's okay.
oh. But there's only one Patty Loveit Reid. There's only one.
No, I'm sure
There's-
there are many, but you know what I
yes,
mean.
yes, yes. Patty, thanks for your time and listen, all the best to you and your family during the holidays.
Thank you. You too. We'll
Yes. All
chat
right.
again.
All right. Take care.